Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Inshallah, I'm going to be starting with a question that either just to get some discussion, inshallah, on the topic. What do you think this few weeks will be about? What are you expecting, really? I know it says zakah and marriage. I'm not expected to get married by the end of this class. Are you? So really, what are you expecting in this class? So first is the marriage fiqh of marriage. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say like instances and like where in the hadith it says like advice about marriage.
Okay.
The rulings and dealings one should have with their spouses and
Okay.
etc.
How many people here are married?
The weddings and how.
So nobody's married, first of all, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Engaged in خلاص you're stuck. Not stuck that you're in trouble. No, I'm saying that that's it. You promised somebody, and she promised that she's yours, like you promised that you're hers. You can't fool around because you're an American. Okay, that's what I mean by you're stuck. It's a life. I always call it. No, let's not call that. Let's call it at the end of the semester, inshallah. I'll let you know what I call it, but not today. What are we expecting, inshallah, in fiqh? Fiqh is as you know, the Islamic rules of something, or the Islamic, or the legislation rules, okay? But I'm gonna make this more, inshallah, interaction and more fun as much as I can. I'm not here to just give you some rules and go home. And here, again, we're not here to do counseling, okay? So if anybody has any problem in his life, inshallah, you can come to me and we talk personally. But this is not time to actually raise like concerns, or if somebody's, or if anything that here fits you, or you feel that you are this person that I'm talking about, don't raise your hand and be like, oh, exactly this is what I'm going through. Alhamdulillah, then we might not give solution today, but at least we have raised the issue. So I chose marriage over zakah because marriage is half of your deen. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when the man he got married, he said, Jabir radhiyallahu anhu, he said, now you have completed half of your religion. So half of your religion is completed. Now you need the other half. So fear Allah in the other half. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam قال اتق الله في النصف الآخر. Fear Allah in that. So this is very important. Not that zakah is not important, but zakah is mainly rules. Especially with nowadays, a lot of people, they have money in the bank, or they have saving accounts, or checking accounts, or they have gold and things like that. It's going to be a lot of questions. So inshallah, starting with marriage. And before we start, we went over some points that we'll be talking about it, inshallah. The first point is love in Islam. Okay? I know this might feel weird to some people, but Shaykh is going to go crazy today. I'm not talking about the love of Allah and Rasulullah either. So, because some people think, oh, he's going to be giving us lecture about the love of Allah and Rasulullah and the ahadith. No, I'm talking about actually love between a man and a woman, or a woman to a man. In Islam, just that everything has to be within the state of Islam. Number two, inshallah, we'll be talking about the marriage and the process, or the rules and etiquettes of marriage, and how to choose a husband, how to choose a wife, what characteristics should you look for, what comes first, what's your priority in choosing, what advice can you have before you get married. And this is a process that everybody, inshallah, will go through very soon, inshallah. Ask Allah to give you guys all, inshallah, what you wish for, okay? So maybe somebody do want to get married, some scholars, but if you're not going to get married, you have to give me a reason like they did, okay? He said, I don't have time, I'm afraid that I might be injustice to my wife, that all day I'm studying, I'm doing work, I'm writing, so why am I going to get somebody just to cook and work at the house for me? I feel like this is not good for her, so that's why he decided to not get married. Not that he didn't want to get married, okay? So if you have a reason like that, inshallah, maybe we could talk about it if you're thinking to become a scholar, inshallah. Rules and rights of husband and wife, what you should expect. Sometimes, see the problem, I'm going to start with this. Sometimes we actually look into marriage in a lot of things that we want the husband like the Prophet ﷺ. And the brothers, they want a wife like Khadija and Aisha. Okay? You're not like Khadija, and he's not like the Prophet. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You just can't expect you can't expect to have a wife like Khadija and you're not Rasulullah. If you get to a level of following the Prophet ﷺ in everything, then maybe Allah bless you with a wife like Khadija. But you have to say that. You have to say that I am not like Rasulullah, or even the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to have a wife like Khadija, especially Khadija, because Khadija, in the stories that Rasulullah sallam got married to her when he was
25.
Okay, maybe I should bring gifts. I brought 3 pens. I really don't know why. It feels, sometimes I feel this is like arrogance. You just show off that you write a lot. Okay, you don't need one. You really want to show off. This is for my phone, and these 2, maybe, I don't know, give it to the sisters. They're colorful. Because if I give it to a brother, they don't like it. Right? So inshallah, how old was Rasulullah sallam?
25.
25. How old was Khadija?
40.
45?
40.
40? And then she died when she was how old? Rasulullah sallam got the message at the age of what?
40.
40, right? And she died 10 years after.
Okay.
So how old was she?
65.
Huh?
65.
65? You're good at math? I'll trust you.
Inshallah.
I am horrible at math. Okay? This is the worst thing that they did to us in schools. They actually let us use calculators. So I had to do 1 plus 1 and 2 plus 2. Egypt, they don't do that, right? They do that. But may Allah forgive us. If you know what I studied, you know what I'm talking about. Correct? They had to make us use the calculator. So that 25 years before her death, Jibreel alayhi salam came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and he said to him, give Khadija the glad tidings of paradise. في بيت في الجنة لا صخب فيه ولا نصب. This is the point of the hadith. He says she won't hear loud sounds, and she won't be harmed in that house. Isn't all paradise like that? Yes or no? I know nobody went there. Yeah, we have a hadith. Because sometimes you ask them, how do I know? We have statements in the Quran. Do you believe paradise exists?
Yes.
Yeah? Inshallah. Yes! This is another problem with using some terminologies that sounds like my daughter now. I tell her inshallah, she says, no, don't say inshallah, do it. This is a big problem in family. We're going to talk about this, raising kids on correct manners. Sometimes you do things you don't pay attention. So a lot of time I tell her, she says, I want, I don't know what's with her and Play-Doh. She loves it. So I said, inshallah, I'll buy it. I go home, no. Second day, third. So after that, I never noticed that. One day I said, inshallah. She said, don't say inshallah. Do it. I'm like, subhanallah. See, we don't pay attention to the wording. Like Khadija, why is that? In Jannah, they said, the ulama says, especially that because 25 years in the life of a person living with someone in the same house, we do not have one narration that says there was one complaint from Rasulullah from Khadija. She didn't even upset him once. People who are married, okay, even if you're not married, you see your parents, okay? Or even you and your brother and sister, you live in the same house, you don't have a problem with, like your parents never screamed? Your mom never said something to your father, or your father said, it happens. Even if they're the most religious people. It happened with Rasulullah and the rest of his wives, by the way. He had to leave his wives for 1 month. But Khadija, we don't have, I doubt, or I dare anyone to bring me a hadith that says that Khadija ever said something to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that upset him. SubhanAllah, 25 years, unbelievable. So now we're going to be looking for a wife like Khadija. Forgive me, okay? You're not going to get married. And the sister, they're looking for somebody like, correct or not? A lot of people, they put characteristic. There was one of the scholars, his name was Abu Aziza. This scholar, his student sent a letter to him. Okay, I'm going to try to translate so I won't say the Arabic part of it. He said, he says, he sent to Abu Aziza a letter saying that I want to get married. So Abu Aziza, he was so happy. Of course, Abu Aziza, his daughter's name was what? Aziz, right? Makes sense. And so his wife would be what? Aziz, the mother of Aziz, okay? So he said, a student sent me a letter, he put it in poetry. He's asking me that he wants to get married to a woman. And then he started the description, beautiful, okay, with good looking, a lot of money that maybe she could share with me after we get married, okay, from a good family that you know, trustworthy, patient, a lot of knowledge that she's more wise than any woman that I know. Then she cooks for me and she makes the food and prepares the house when I come back home. She sees me and all, okay, he gave a lot of description in one. He wants all of that in one woman, okay? So Abu Aziza simply responded to his letter. He says, I know what you're asking for. If I could find a wife like that, I would divorce Aziza and marry her. Why would I live with her? If you could find me somebody who has all of this characteristic in one, why am I living with Aziza then? Of course we can't. See, that's why we have to put some rules. What should we look for? If we can find this, maybe this will work. If he doesn't have this characteristic, maybe he has another characteristic that we like, and so on and so on. And then we'll talk about mostly history and seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is related to our life right now. So love and Islam. Subhanallah. The word love in Arabic means what? Anybody know the word? I just wanna give you some good. What is this? Bring it down. I hated this. How many letters? Huh? 2 letters, right? Of course, English, love. Doesn't sound good. Really. But look at Arab. Ha, if you study tajweed, ha comes from where? I don't know, I'm not going to turn this to the tajweed. Ha comes from where?
The throat.
Your throat, right? So air comes out of it. Say it. Ba. Lips, huh? You get the relation now? Think about it. Ha, like somebody who's in love, is hub. But in English, love. Doesn't sound as effective. That's why they say the Arabic language is very strong. That the letters of the Arabic language actually gives the explanation of the word even if you don't know. Like if you can't know a meaning of one word, you could tell from how it sounds like shaitan. When somebody says shaitan, there's no way that this could be an angel. It sounds like something evil. Okay? So this word was repeated in some ahadith. Is it haram or halal? Okay, all of you guys right now are going to be in a state of love. This is where you start. If you don't start that, then there's a problem. If there's an arranged marriage, I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you, okay? It might work. I'm not saying... It might work for benefits. But everybody has to go through this stage. They have to love something first. And first love that we have is the love for Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're not talking about this. There is no doubt that a Muslim should love Allah and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What can a Muslim love? Yes or no? The guys are like, yeah, the guys are not. They say nobody loves nowadays. Yes or no? Yes. But then what? What's the difference? The difference is that we have to understand what does love mean. Okay? Is it haram or halal? Is it okay? Giving a fatwa already. we need to talk Yusuf. Okay? By the way, love has really nothing to do with beauty. Has nothing to do with the way that the person looks, because that differs from everybody. Somebody they will give you a description, even if it is in the dream. They'll give you a description of a female, or a female giving a description of male that they want to get married to. Okay, just description. And you look at them and you're like, it's so good about what you're saying. There's nothing to love in that. Well, that's why it varies, it differs. But then, what does our deen say about it? Do we have scholars that actually sat down and spent some of their valuable time to write about love? Do you know any? First gift. Anybody? Any name of a scholar that wrote just about love? Okay, maybe a book, yes.
Ibn Jawzi?
What's the name of the book?
I don't know.
Okay, he did. He right. But no,
They're on the syllabus.
they're in the syllabus.
Ibn
There you go. Ibn Hazm, rahimahullah ta'ala, he wrote a book that is called طوق الحمامة. طوق, they translate it as the ring of the dove or the ring of the pigeon. طوق means that's something you put around your neck, like a necklace. So he called it the necklace, meaning when you start loving someone, that's it. You get attached to that person, like the pigeon, okay, and it flies. It gets your feeling to fly around. So they call it طوق الحنان. And actually, this book is very nice book that he only talked about love. He talked when does a person love, how love does to a person, how does it get a person to end his life, everything about it. Why? He was responding to somebody's letter that he sent to him. He's asking him, write me something about love. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah wrote Rawdatu al-Muhibbeen, the gardens of the lovers. And he stated in that book 60 types of levels of love. Can you give me wording in English that is equal to the word love? I'm not good at it. I'm asking you. That's what I'm asking you.
Affection.
Love, huh?
Affection.
Okay. Adore.
Admiration.
Huh?
Admiration.
Admiration. See, you're gonna go up to 6, 7, maybe 10. Ibn al-Qayyim came up with 60 wording. That when I looked into the English translation, they actually translated like 5 of them as love. They couldn't find anything else. And he says the highest level, of course, is the... Anybody know the highest level of love? What is it called? Huh? Yeah, what is it called? What's the name? Yeah, no. Hope is love. Al-Khillah. That's why Rasulullah and Ibrahim alayhi salam are called what? Khalilullah. Meaning that he is the most loved by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says this level, if you get to that level, between humans, of course, if they have that, it could harm a person because you cannot expect anything wrong from the person that you love that much. So yes, love in Islam, but it's just that how to do it. Is it okay to just go around and love everybody? Like, you know, some people they tell you I feel love for 3 girls. I have three of my classmates. I feel love for them. MashaAllah, 3 of them at once. Your heart is divided into how many parts? Anybody here that studies?
4.
Huh?
4, right?
4 parts? You're very bad with how many
The
parts your heart is
chambers.
divided to? Nobody? 4? 2? 4? You agree with him? Alhamdulillah, so we have 2 signs on you, inshallah. It's on camera. They said it's 4. Okay. 4. So it doesn't mean that you can have 4 wives. That's why the heart is 4. Or love 4 people at the same time. That's why the heart is 4. But yeah, it's one heart. Okay? So the wording itself. Did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam talk about it? Did Islam say anything about it? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, for example, al-arwahu junudun mujannad. ما تعارف منها ائتلف وما تنافر منها اختلف. He says that the souls are recruiting, meaning that the souls, they know each other. Whenever they meet, if they meet and they're already liking each other, then there will be some connection between them. If the souls already disagree with each other, if the souls don't like one another, then they will never get together. And let me give you an example. Sometimes you see a brother or a sister for the first time, and you say, this sister, I just feel something, she's very good. And sometimes you see a person, okay, and as soon as you see him, you say what? A'udhu billah. You don't even know the person. You haven't talked to him. You don't even know anything about him. But the souls, there's some connection, okay? But it doesn't mean because you just feel something for someone that you love him. Especially for you guys, huh? I get a lot of, what? I had a guy, every week, I found somebody new. Every time he talked to a girl in the school, he was in high school, every time a girl talked to him, he's like, I think there's something. This is the shaitan fooling around because this is the first lead. Yes, it could be the first lead, but what does it lead to? Which we'll talk about inshallah, as Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said. So as we know, people are attracted to what?
People.
No, people are attracted to what in people? Huh?
Kindness.
Huh?
Kindness.
Oh, this is what I expect from the sister's side. From the brother's side?
Status for looks.
Come on. Say- Be honest, okay? This is an honest class right now. Huh?
Looks.
Here you go. Thank you, my brother. Okay? Wallahi, over 99% will say like you. Jazakallah khair. social and study all that. This is we're not in a chemistry class, okay? To the looks, to the beauty, correct? Yes or no? Well, for the man it's different from the women. We have to know that. That's why Islam puts rules for each. When he says to choose, he said for a man to choose on this status. And when he said for the women, he chose something totally different because he know how they're feeling. Everybody says the looks. Rasulullah sallallahu a woman came to him, a man came to him. He said, Ya Rasulullah, and this is narrated in the Sunnah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I am the wali. I'm the wakil of this an orphan girl that I want her to get married. And two people are asking for her hand. A rich man and a poor man. Who should they give to? Of course, nowadays what? Go with the rich. Even the sisters. Okay, go with the rich. The Prophet asked another question. He says, does she feel anything for any of them? He says yes to the poor guy. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the exact translation says قال لم يرى للمتحابين غير النكاح. He says, I don't see any way for the two lovers except to get married. So she chose according to what? Not beauty, no. Maybe the guy who's rich goes to does makeup and stuff. He has money, Allah alam what he does. But then when he told the man to choose, he says, تنكح المرأة لأربع. The woman is married for 4 things. When you look for marriage,
Her family.
Jamali, her beauty, her family, her lineage, her money, not to take it from her. Okay, you don't get married to take your wife's money. Okay, and what? Last one? Her religion, and the most important is the religion. See, even Islam knows the balance. But subhanAllah, we are attracted to beauty. Okay, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that in the Quran that He have created the man in the best form. Doesn't mean men. Created human beings in their best form. So it's the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why sometimes, I give you another example for women, right choice. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, there was a man in Medina. His name was, and try to memorize this name, Julaybib. What's his name? Julaybib, okay? He was not a good-looking guy, and all Allah's creation are good-looking. Everybody memorize that statement that I said? What did I say? Julaybib was not good-looking, but Allah's creation are all good-looking. Meaning, Julaybib, as narrator says, he was not good-looking. According to who? To how people view him. But we say Allah's creation are always when you say that. Like, you could see somebody who's not good-looking. Could be. Maybe something is wrong with the person. You say, somebody might say, he's not good looking. Or say, he's not good looking. That's to you. But Allah's creation is all good. That's how He created him. We never chose to be created the way we look. Okay? Nobody chose to be created the way they look. It just happened that you're like that. So Julaybib said to Rasulullah, he said, Ya Rasulullah, if I die fighting in the cause of Allah, will I get to Jannah? The Prophet says, yes. He says, and if I get to Jannah, would I marry the Hur al-Ain, the women of paradise? He said, yeah. He said, how come your companions don't want me to get married to their daughters? If Al-Hur al-Ain would accept me, they're better than these women of your time, then why they don't want to? So the Prophet says, he smiled. He said, okay, I'm going to send you somewhere. Go tell him that Rasulullah ﷺ is asking for your daughter's hand. For Julaybib. So he went to this man, knocked the door. The man opened the door. The woman and her mother was inside listening. He said, Rasulullah ﷺ is sending me to ask for your daughter's hand. The man said, what? Huh? No. Of course. For Rasulullah? He said, no, not for Rasulullah. He said, Abu Bakr? He said, no. He said, Umar? He said, no. He said, then who? He said, me. The man said, oh wow. That's a statement. This is like, oh my God. Oh my gosh, we say nowadays. I don't know what's gosh mean, but it's okay. I know you guys say weird stuff. Anyway, so he said, he went inside, okay? They didn't hear what he said. He went inside, he went to his wife, and he asked her, he said, Rasulullah is asking for your daughter's hand. She said, wa ni'am. This is the best thing that happened. He said, not for him. She said, Abu Bakr. Same thing. He said, no. He said, Umar, no. He said, who? He said, Julaybib. She said, what? Oh, wow. Same thing, Julaybib. Like he couldn't find anybody. Umar, Uthman, Ali, all these people. Julaybib. The daughter heard that. She said, there's an ayah in the Quran that says that we should not reject the order of Allah or Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. therefore I'll choose what Rasulullah chose over my own faith. She still doesn't like Julaybi. He's not good looking, as the narration said. So she said, I agree. Are you sure? Of course. I can't reject what Rasulullah said. I can't even say anything what Rasulullah says. What Rasulullah says, I will do. Julaybib went so happy to the Prophet ﷺ, got married. The day he got married, that night, he took his wife to the house. He heard the adhan, the call for jihad. They had to go on war. So he told her, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, have a nice day. She didn't even see him. He said, where are you going? He said, I'm going with the Prophet. He went with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, okay, and then he died. Then the Prophet ﷺ took him on his lap and he used to wipe the dust and he used to say, Julaybib is like me and I am like him. Meaning that he was a fighter in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his Jannah. They said, the blessing that Rasulullah ﷺ said when he heard that this girl said that about Julaybib, he said, may Allah increase her life and increase her wealth. After Julaybib died, she was the richest, one of the richest women in Medina, that everybody was trying to ask for her hand because she was very high level. Just because she did what? She favored the desire or the opinion or the order of the Prophet over herself. It's how things that we should look at. Yes, there is love. We don't say anything. Rasulullah ﷺ loved his wives, and he loved no one like Khadija radiallahu anha. Aisha radiallahu anha said, she said one time, she said, I was not jealous of any women on earth or any wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam than the old lady who died. Who does she mean? Khadija radiallahu anha. She said, every time I sit with the Prophet, he said, Khadija did, Khadija went, Khadija came, Khadija did. And then an older lady came in, the Prophet ﷺ, he was smiling, he stood up and he set her down and he got her food. And so after she left, Aisha said, why are you being so generous to this lady? We don't even know her. He said she was a friend of Khadija. You see how much love that continuous after her death, radiallahu anha. Of course, why did Rasulullah marry after her? We'll talk about that. Okay? If he loved her that much, some sisters say that, well, if he loved her that much, why he shouldn't have married? There was reasons and things for that. So he says, Khadija, then Aisha radiallahu anha, she said, what do you care about a woman who was too old that had no teeth? Talking about Khadija. Allah has given you who's better than her. She meant who? Herself and the rest. The Prophet ﷺ got very upset. He says, لَقَدْ رَزَقَنِي. Look at the word razaqa. The word rizq means what? Huh?
Sustenance.
Provision. He says, Khadija, Allah provided her love in my heart. When you wake up in the morning, who provides you? Allah, right? Your provision is from Allah, so you just work for it. But Allah gives you whatever is already written. So he said, the love of Khadija was a rizq, a provision that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with. مَا أَبْدَلَنِ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا مِنْهُ. He said, Allah have not given me any wife like Khadija radiallahu anha. So Aisha says, after this, I never said anything about her again. I was afraid that if I say something, he will get upset, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that's natural. But again, then what? So a person seeing someone, feeling this is the first step to marriage, and this is the fiqh, loving someone, what he or she should do. Go out, meet each other, date for 3 years, have 10 kids, and then decide to get married. And maybe after the 3rd kid, they just say, I don't like living with this woman. A lot of people do that. I had a teacher, she went to Vegas in high school. She was so happy she was getting married. And we were all happy for her. We actually had a party and something. And if I knew, I wouldn't have gone to the party. So I asked her, I said, I said, well, how you doing? Huh? Congratulations, all that. And she said, finally. I said, why was he bad? Like, you were trying with him? She said, we've been living together for 5 years. I said, I know you guys date and all that. She said, no. We've been living together in a house. I'm like, okay. And she said, finally now, we think we're good for each other. I said, 5 years? How many children? She said, 2. What's next? You backed up. You're going backward. He said, we start the other direction. If there's a feeling, there is nothing wrong with that feeling. I'm telling you right now. Just that you have to be what? You have to be affirmed that this feeling is there. Huh? Again, not just go around and everybody who says hi, you're like, oh, so hi. You know guys do. Wait, anybody here from Jordan? Okay, Osama, sorry, Osama, forgive me. A guy that I knew from a country, like I said, Wallah, he came from his country directly. He was a very nice guy, to be honest. He was a very nice guy. He came in, he didn't speak English or anything. Came high school, okay? Came with us to school. Wallahi, if I'm swearing on this, almost every day. I want you to come and talk to her. Why? She saw me in the morning and something. And I was in high school. I was in Shaykh, by the way, in high school. So I said, are you sure? He's like, please. And I'm like, this is wrong, man. You don't do that. He said, just see what she's saying. So I go, what did you tell him? She said, I said, hi. How you doing? Good to see you. So what did she say? I said, she says, hi. You're not going to go around loving the whole school, 500 students. This is not the love that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that moves on to the next step. The real love that comes is based on what the hearts feel, what the eye sees, and then what's the process after that. Where are you going with this love? Is it going to the shaitan way? Or is it going to the halal way? This is the question. So we have halal love. I told you. Imam Ibn Hazm, rahimahullah, his book, by the way, is translated. If you want to read it, it's called the Ring of the Dove, for the people who are not here. And read this book. Very beautiful book. If you read it, by the way, you'll never get off that book. Don't read it during the test time. Don't say the Shaykh said to read it. Really, maybe I read this book. I'll tell you a story. One of the shuyukh, I actually had to search for this book when I heard one of the shuyukh talking about it. So I went to Jarir bookstore in LA. Anybody know where that is? Yeah? You know how it looks like? So I went inside and I was so embarrassed to read that book. Because to us, this book is love and of course when we came, they told us, like even if you tell your grandfather, do you love my grandmother? You get shot. He loves her. Like how can you say a word like, oh, these are customs. We don't have to follow these things. And at the same time, we're not going around, hey, I love my wife, man. I love my wife, I love my wife. You want to know her name? You want to know her name? Yeah? We don't do, not to extreme side and not to a loose side. So I went and I took this book, wallahi. And I remember there was another book talking about the process of marriage, okay? And the title of the book sounded very bad. But he didn't mean what he wrote. But anyway, so I took a book, a fiqh book, and I put the other book, you know that trick, inside that book, okay? And I sat in Jarir, okay, and I took my shoes off, and I sat down on the ground, in somewhere between the books, and I kept reading. And every time somebody crossed, I'm trying to find a fiqh issue, okay? I'm a faqih, mashallah. But I was actually trying to read what these guys are saying, because to us this was haram. It was haram to even express. But did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do that? When he wanted to get married, he go and ask. He wanted to get married to Aisha, he went and asked. He didn't just say, they dream about it. No, this is the wrong love that leads to the haram. But the Prophet ﷺ said, he said in the hadith when Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu asked them, very clearly, he said one time he sent him in a battle as a leader, and that battle had Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman and others. So Amr ibn al-As thought that Rasulullah loved him more than anybody else, because if Abu Bakr, why didn't he let Abu Bakr and Umar lead? So after he came back, he went to Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, who do you love the most? And he expected the answer to be who? Him. He said, Aisha. There you go. Somebody goes, why did Rasulullah say Abu Bakr? Why he has to say his wife's name? Some countries now, we have to respect them because it's a ad, it's a custom, okay? If you ask somebody for his mother's name, they might kill you. Literally. And ask, I know, you want me to pick on somebody right now and ask him? You can't. This is called aib. This is unlawful. This is haram. But do we know the wife's name of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Their names? All of them, yeah? The daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the companions. So what's wrong? What's wrong is the use Okay? The use of that. But he said Aisha. So Amr ibn As said, not from the women's, I'm talking about men. He said, what did Rasulullah say? Huh? Her father. Why didn't he say Abu Bakr? He wanted to tell him in a sense that her father, my what? My lover's father. Like that. As if he wanted to say that. He loved her so much that he didn't say Abu Bakr. He still wanted to be attached to Aisha. Then after that he said what? Umar radiallahu anhu. Okay? Then after that he counted 20. So Amr ibn As said, I didn't want to ask him because I didn't want to be at the end. I thought I was at the beginning, so I just stopped. But the point, he said what? He said, Aisha radiallahu anha, this is the lawful love that led to the halal. We had two people at the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you have to know that the hearts are, this is only introduction as we say, this is not fiqh right now. Okay? I don't know if this could be, because the guy said the Shaykh was this, now he's becoming, he will give you names by the topic that you speak about, by the way. Anyway, doesn't matter. There was two people, Barira and Mughith. Barira was a servant woman owned by Aisha radiallahu anha. At that time where there was slavery, okay? Mughith were her husband. They were both slaves. When she became free, the ruling says, what's the ruling of Islam? If a woman is, of course, I don't know. They say, why are you discussing this now? You never know. If a woman is a slave, okay, owned by somebody, and she becomes free, Aisha freed her, by the way, for the sake of Allah. She becomes free. What happened to her husband? Let's see who answers. Get this nice pen if you want it. Huh? What's the husband? Huh? لو امرأة هي عبد حررت وهي متزوجة وزوجها عبد حكم ايه؟
لا يجوز.
ولا لا يجوز. They're already married. They're already married.
لازم يكون حر.
It's divorce.
Huh? If they can't free the husband,
It's
this
divorce.
is one of the times that the women chooses. No, this is the time that the woman in marriage chooses between staying or divorcing herself, and he can't say no. It's one of you guys need. It's one of the times that she herself, because sometimes they tell you only men could divorce. No. So Rasulullah, she was divorced from Mughith. But the problem, Mughith loved her so much that he used to walk around Medina on the mountains calling her name. I don't know if anybody will get to that level nowadays to see him walking around daydreaming, get hit by a car, and then he said, I was thinking about so. He was doing that. So he went to everybody, trying to get somebody to resolve the problem. She says no. So finally he went to the Prophet ﷺ, and he said, Ya Rasulullah, please talk to her. She will listen to you. So Rasulullah went to Barira. He took Al-Abbas, his uncle, and he went to Barira. He said, Ya Barira, Mughith loves you so much. The hearts, as Rasulullah says, that the hearts are between the fingers of Allah, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala change it however He wants. Meaning that you don't control your heart. Okay? So if you love somebody, you can say, I can't, yeah, you can't do anything about it. It's just that what you're going to do about it. Okay? Understand that. Religious-wise, it's fine. If somebody is going to love the woman that he's going to live with her, or the sister loves the man, or she loves someone and she's attracted to someone that she's going to live with, we're saying this is not haram. What comes after might be the haram or the halal. Where is the step? Where is the next step now? Going out? Then we're going to say you go on the shaitan way. You're going to ask for her hand from her father and then go through the process, and you're going to build an Islamic house and a wife and children. This is the halal way. There's nothing wrong with that. Rasulullah saw Aisha 3 days in his dream. She came to him he was dreaming that Jibreel came to him, and he had a plate that was covered. And then every time he took the cloth away, he saw the picture of Aisha radiallahu anha. So he says, Subhanallah, if Allah wanted, it will happen. He didn't know what was going on. 3 days, he sees her. So what did he do? Did Rasulullah just say, okay, what should we do? He went to her father, he says, can I marry your daughter? Abu Bakr says, how could he marry his daughter? He's my brother. Because they were very close. He said, yes, I am still your brother, but I could marry her. It's not like I'm your real brother. But Aisha was engaged to somebody. That was the problem. So Abu Bakr says, we already promised somebody else. The same day that he told Rasulullah that, he didn't know how to answer the Prophet. He told his wife, how could she be engaged to two people? It's not right. We can't break with the man. We already promised him, and Rasulullah, we can't reject his word. So this man came in the morning, his father came to Abu Bakr and he said, Ya Abu Bakr, are you still a Muslim? Like that. Abu Bakr said, yeah. He said, okay, then I don't want my son to marry your daughter. Abu Bakr said, Alhamdulillah. That's what we wanted. Well, we can't ask for it. Go ahead. So that's why he went to Rasulullah and he said it was okay. So anyway, back to Barira and Mughith. So he came, Rasulullah went. He said, Ya Barira, why don't you go back to Mughith and live with him? And I just can't think of that hadith. I have to skip that hadith because every time I think about it, she's a companion, and with all the respect, and I just can't till now understand how she responded. She said, Ya Rasulullah, of course the first part of the response is good. She said, Ya Rasulullah, is it an order, a command, or you're just doing him a favor? He says, no, it's not a command. She said, then I don't want to go back. She had the choice, yes, but just reading the hadith, how could somebody reject? She had the right. I'm not saying she's a companion, okay? Don't say, oh, she was wrong. No, I'm not saying she was wrong either. I'm just saying that how could somebody, Rasulullah, come to you and say, hey, do this, and you're like, no. Okay? But what did Rasulullah say about it? That's the part that he explained. He says, he used to walk around and he used to hear Mughith around screaming and saying poetry. He used to say, Subhanallah, look at the love of Mughith toward Barira and the hate of Barira toward Mughith. The hearts are between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's fingers. He don't control. It doesn't mean because you love somebody, that person is going to love you. That's why, inshallah, for the brother and sister, when you get married, you might love your husband so much, but he only loves you so little. And the brother it could be that it doesn't have to be because I love him 100%, he should love me 100%. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. It could be that there's mawaddah, there is mercy and tranquility and rahmah. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we created the souls, male and female. Why? So they could live together, okay? Through what? Islamic marriage. And we made what? Mawaddah, وَجَعَلْنَا بَيْنَهُمَا مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. We have made what? Tranquility and mercy between them. He didn't say love. Well, because that's what lasts. I don't want to scare you guys if you don't get married. The first year you get married, you love you. The first month you get married, you love your wife so much and she loves you so. You show the best of what you have. This is real life. Second month, after what they call what's the first month called? Honeymoon. Okay. Honey and moon. Second month, the honey goes away and the moon stays. This is not about, okay, anybody. I love my wife, you love me. I'm saying in general, okay? And I don't want it on Facebook either. This is not safe. After the second, the moon goes away and then the onion comes in. You know what I mean? Then you know what I mean. Okay, if you don't know, the onion is the thing that you eat, okay? I don't want to explain deep because this is going to be, she knows what I mean. Anyway, the onion meaning, they give that description because of that. Anyway, forget that. So, after 3 months, 6 months, they did like a survey and they found that the real love that that every day she's dressed and she's makeup and he, by the way, some brothers a lot of time they ask for that, but they don't expect to do that, right? This is a big problem. We say it's a two-way living in marriage. Ibn Abbas, they used to see him going to the barber in the morning, tell him, hey, cut my hair, fix my beard, put some perfume, oil good with my hair. The guy told him, why do you come every few days? What's wrong with you? You have extra money? He says, I like to look good to my wife, like the way that I like my wife to look good for me. As men, we don't do that, I'm sorry. We want the opposite because that's the desire. But women want the kindness and the mercy and all that, okay? Why did we get into that? Okay. After 2 years, they found that the love lasts for 2 years. After the 2 years, it becomes the living. So how are we going to continue after 2 years or 3 years? The love decreases. Okay? That's why Ibn Hazm says the love, consider it like a gas, similar to, he said that, like a gas tank. You're driving a car, right? You might drive, if the tank is full, you drive for how many miles?
60.
guys don't have cars or don't know what to answer. What's happening? We want to wake up. How many miles? Say 300? Okay. This is life. After 300, if you just say, I'm waiting till we get to the end, you might be in a desert and you don't find a gas station. So some people, they let their life go down till they get to zero. Then they come to the masjid, Shaykh, I don't know what to do with my wife. Too late. You didn't. Hey, you need fuel all the time. You need to refresh. It could be by gift. It could be by vacation. It could be by good words. Like they did a survey one time in Saudi Arabia. A sheikh stood up and he says, they were like 500 men. Okay? He says, everybody take your phone out. Older, respected people with the ghutra and looking nice. He said, everybody, by Allah, send to your wife right now and say the word, I love you. That's it. Okay. They listen, he swear by Allah. So they did it. And he says, put your phone on, so I could hear it. Okay, unmute. So they put their phone. Maybe 2 minutes. You know those. And then he said, I heard, of course, somebody had his wife as the ring as a fire car. Somebody had a police car. I don't know what she asked for it. Anyway, if you have that in your phone, you know. And some people, they have the regular ring. It doesn't matter how you know, because when the fire goes on, the alarm, you know, oh, she's calling. That's what they mean. Maybe Allah have not their intention. Anyway, he says, anybody could get up right now and tell me what they sent, really what they responded in less than a minute.
What did you do?
So the first person she said, what's wrong with you? Are you in the hospital? Okay, one. The second one says, did somebody steal your phone, Abu Muhammad? Two. Like that. And then some of them actually did all these love hearts and kisses and all right away. And he says, you see this? When was the last time that you actually said this word? So some people said maybe 30 years ago, some people said 20 years ago. Allah knows, I never said it, maybe like, you know, like the man who came to Rasulullah, he came to Rasulullah and he found Al-Hasan on his feet, on his lap. He was kissing him. He said, do you kiss your children? Rasulullah said, what? You don't kiss your? He said, well, I have 10 kids, I never kissed one of them. He says, subhanallah, what can I do to somebody that Allah has taken mercy away from his heart? It's the same thing. When was the last time that you actually expressed? Yeah, men, they express because they go to the safe way and they express their feeling by getting them what they want, okay? Like if your wife maybe loves Pinasol or Colorex to clean her. Okay, anyway, and the sister, I don't know. What could the sister bring? The bomb now? To get rid of you? Okay, so Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, back to that. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did that all the time. Okay, he expressed that feeling all the time. He did that with Aisha radiallahu anha. Then he used to follow her lips. Allah over with it. It just reminded me of a story, that's why. Anyway, forgive me for that, by the way, that means the sisters like to be clean. Doesn't mean anything wrong, but I don't know you understood. Okay, so how does the process, so what time we have today? So how does the process start? The process starts first, as we said, you have to continue that. You have to continue that love and express it if that happens later on. But at the beginning, you actually can't do that unless it becomes lawful. Okay? We don't know anybody that, we know people died out of love. Okay? We know people actually died out of love. Umar radiallahu anhu, they came to him and they said, we know a story, we're going to tell you a story about two people, a man and a woman. Her father was his uncle. So he told him, if you want to get married to my daughter, then you have to travel and get me some camels from somewhere. So he went and he traveled, took 3 months. When he came back, they told him today is her wedding. So he actually died that day. Umar radiallahu anhu says, if it was me, I was going to get them married from day one. Why would you break something like that? If they're going to do it right, if two people are really going to do it right. And now, alhamdulillah, we don't have anybody here under 18. Anybody? So when we say these things, we're actually saying because it's a process. So how does this process start? No questions. Okay, how does this process start? First, you start picturing. And that's why we lower our gaze. But if it happened, then it happens. Because the first way to the heart is what? Huh? Not the butt, not the stomach. For men, the first way to the heart is their stomach. For the sisters, the first thing to their heart is what? The first thing to the heart is the eyes, okay? For men, the first thing to the, if you want to get to a man's heart, you get to his stomach. You guys are... Anyway, so Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did that. Admiring someone. Commitment in life. You have to know that all these things are coming. You cannot just say that we're going to live honeymoon for 10 years. It doesn't happen. It's just that the way you look at it at the beginning, لذلك قالوا الحب أوله عذب مذاقه وآخره التنكيس خلاص بقى on the camera. They said that the beginning or the first step of love is sweetness as honey or sweet as honey. But at the end, it's just as hard as because there's a lot of things that you'll find. That's why we don't have this beginning relation before marriage. It's haram. Why? If you really get to know somebody, like your profile, what do people put on their profile? Huh? Best picture maybe 20 years ago. When they looked nice. Okay, or when they looked young, let's just say it, without a beard, and he was a handsome, he think he's handsome without a beard, good looking, and all that. Anyway. Or maybe a sister that does some, okay. Then, do you pray 7 times a day? Do you fast 3 months? Right? They write, especially the marriage, what's they call it, the Muslim marriage websites. I don't know what it's called. Okay? I didn't have to go through it. I have to learn about it because I was giving fatwa about it. Muslim matrimonial, Muslim singles, and all that. Okay, you find all this profile. You think you're talking to a companion. And then you get to know the person. At the beginning, they'll show you the best of what they have. Because they always want to look good. So if the relation goes long, before marriage I'm talking about, you get engaged for 2 years. By the way, 2 years, you're going to get to know everything about that person. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to say, oh, I'm at the beginning, man, who cares? Or she could just take the ring if they were ring and she said, here's your ring, have a nice day, thank you. It was nice knowing you. Right? Because there's no commitment. That's why Islam made it what? Made it a look. A first look is allowed. As we're going to talk in fiqh, inshallah. The first look. What does the first look mean? Just to get to see the person. Okay? But of course, not first look on the haram. If you really have commitment. If you really want to get married. And at the same time, first look doesn't mean that you sit down and you bring all the girls together. And you're like, Bismillah. Okay, that one. Then you talk for... They did that in some masajid. I don't know if you guys know about... I'm not going to talk about anybody in this class. They did that. They had big table, and the brothers on one side and the sisters on one side. And then they talk, they dialogue. I don't like this person. Mashallah, very sweet. And they go, this is not deen. This is not religion. If you really want to do it right, then there's process. Within what? Within the deen. Within the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did what? First, when somebody asked him, Ya Rasulullah, I love this person, what does he tell him? Huh? Go and get married. Go and ask for her hand. Why? Because everything that you're going to find later on, that's it. As I said at the beginning, some people were laughing or maybe got upset. I said you get stuck, right? After you're married. So what do you actually do? You're trying to find out a solution for the problem. Because that's it, you have to deal with it. But before marriage, if you think it's only love, then the first problem that happens between you and this man or this man and this woman, you're going to do what? Very easy. Get yourself out of that relation and then go into another relation, third relation, you will never be happy with the person. Like this is a real fatwa. Somebody came, Ya Shaykh, I have a big problem. I said, go ahead sister, what's your problem? She said, I love my husband so much. When somebody says so much, I get worried. Okay? They say so much. I said, okay, so what's next? She said, Alhamdulillah, after knowing him for a time, he's a nice guy and all that. We got married and I've been married for 1 month. I said, Allahu Akbar, okay, and you're already here after 1 month. That means there's a problem. So what's the problem? She said, what's the Islam... Well, I'm not joking. What's the Islamic rule in divorce? I want to know things, what is allowed for divorce, what's not. I'm like, what did he do? She said, he snores at night. I said, why you didn't take him to the hospital to test him for one night? Are you serious? Why do you want somebody who snores? Come on. You seriously get into the relation, this is something that you can't pass on? I thought maybe she said he doesn't pray. No, he doesn't pray. It's okay. He's a nice guy. But he snores. So not praying is good, but snoring is... May Allah help you. You could go to a doctor and fix it for him. Okay? Maybe you... What if you snore? I told, what if you snore? Was he going to divorce you? She says, I don't. I said, we all say that. We all say we don't snore. My wife says, I hear you from, like, mashallah, if you're in San Francisco, I could hear it. Okay? And I swear, I don't. Till now. And she actually recorded it, like, every woman does that for her husband. She put the phone next to me, and she said, oh God. And then I hear it, I'm like, but that's not snoring. Maybe I'm dreaming. We get excited. But this is not a problem. This is not a conflict. So now the love that you had was not built correctly. It did not start correctly. So now, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and lived with his wives, and he loved his daughters, radiallahu anhu, because all this love moves on. He loved the daughters of Khadija, radiallahu anhu. He said, one time, his wives complained, okay? And see how Rasulullah deal with things. Inshallah, I'll take 3 minutes, right? 3 minutes. Rasulullah said, he used to divide anybody who wanted to give Rasulullah gift, or he wanted to ask Rasulullah something, he would give him a gift. So they knew that Rasulullah loved who the most? Aisha. So they wait till it's her turn, and then they go to Rasulullah with the gift. The other wives, they complained. They said, okay, now Aisha's taking all the gifts. So they told Rasulullah, why you don't tell your companions to give you the gifts in our night? He said, I can't tell somebody, hey, when you give me a gift, please give it to me third night, I can't. So they didn't like that. They went to Fatima radiallahu anha. Fatima is the most beloved person to the Prophet. His daughter. Okay, that's different love now, okay? So she went to him and she said, look at the hadith, I found Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and Aisha sleeping together under the blanket, like they were covered together. Okay? As we said, first month together. 2 months, face to face. Back to back, different rooms. Okay, is this life? What happened to the love so much that, this is what a lot of, by the way, if you want to ask somebody about marriage, who do you ask? Somebody who got married 2 weeks ago, or somebody who's been married 10 years? I know you all can ask the 2 weeks, and he's going to tell you, mashallah, go ahead. Please do it tomorrow, married 3, 4, 5, right? You see the same person. First month, he tells you, sorry brother Yusuf, I have to go home, man, I'm married now. Okay? 2, 3 months, he's like, do you have anything to do, man? Like, you're gonna have to go home? That's okay. Before he used to call his wife, this is what I'm saying. Everything has to be put in action correctly. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. Do you want anything, honey? And he used the good words, terminology. Rasulullah used to tell Aisha what? Anybody know the word? He says what? Humayra. She had her cheek was always red, so he called her with the red cheek, or he called her Aish. And in Arabic, when you take the last letter out and you make it light, it sounds better. Okay? Muhammad, what do you call him? Not Mo. Okay? Mo is a shortcut for Muhammad. Okay? Whatever, Moody, whatever, Boody, Doody, whatever. Okay? Yeah, the sister you call it, whatever name that she liked. So he called her, honey, do you want anything? I want chocolate from Safeway. He runs and he get it and he goes home. After a few years, do you want anything from Safeway? No. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go get something anyway. Why? Because he doesn't want to go home. He's trying to spend more time outside of the house. Correct or incorrect? You're gonna see that in people's life. How could we put that in action? We have to know that first, life doesn't only build on love. Again, it's something in the heart that turns into actions. The actions must be under the control of the deen, which there's only one way. There is no other way. You can say, is there 2 different opinions, madhab opinion? There is no madhab opinion. It's either married or not married. Okay? Why we don't have relations? Because it's haram. They're foreigners. Okay? Yes, you might see her in school, she sees you in school, she asks you a question. But if you want to take the bath and you're going to take the relation serious, you can just date somebody 2 or 3 years. And wallahi, this is a big, as I call it, a big disease in the Muslim Ummah now. That we see it now happening, that you see boyfriend and girlfriend idea. We never had that before. Okay? We had women that you couldn't even talk to. Inshallah, they're very strong. You wanna talk to me? Go talk to my father. Okay? Or the man went, Atika radiallahu anha, the wife of Umar. She used to pray every salah in the masjid. Say mashallah. It was like, who cares? That's a good thing. Okay? She doesn't have to. Umar was so jealous. So they told him, why you can't stop her? He says, because the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ says what? Don't stop women from going to the houses of Allah. So he has to obey Rasulullah. Okay? See how she goes. After his death, she got married to Az-Zubayr radiallahu anhu. Zubayr was even more jealous than Umar. He wanted to stop her. So he hid it somewhere at dark when she was going for Isha time. And he hit her with something when she was walking. So she said, La ilaha illallah, people changed after Rasulullah. And then she went home, she never went to the masjid again. And he said, alhamdulillah, I did what I wanted. Of course, he did a strategy, I don't know if it's right, ask the scholars, okay? And he was so jealous, okay? By the way, Atika, if I don't know something about her, I'll just give it to you. They say anybody who wants to die in the shaheed should marry Atika. She got married to Umar, they killed him. She got married to Zubayr, he got killed. She got married to Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr, he got killed. Everybody's like, she's bad luck. No. They used to say, if you want to die shaheed, you marry Atika. Now they be like, oh, she was... no, they say, if you really want to die as a shaheed. So these people, they would see what they had. Some people express that, like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam express his love? Before or after? Huh? After marriage, not before marriage. Okay. So can I go on? Even nowadays, the brothers and sisters, not the love that I'm talking about. Sometimes they tell you, I love you for the sake of Allah. No, sister, don't love me for the sake of Jazakallah. Give it to yourself. Shaitan is right there. He's going to tell me the confusion. And the brother is telling the sister, sister, I love you for the sake of Allah. Give it to yourself. Even if you do for the sake of Allah, it's for the sake. But the wording itself, Rasulullah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the companions if they asked the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam for mata'. The word mata' in Quran means what? Any Arabic speaker? Huh?
Purpose.
La. Mata' means dishes and plates and cups. Okay? If they ask them, mata', they go to somebody's house and they're asking for mata', the plate. He says, ask them from behind a veil. Why? It's better for your heart and their heart, okay? Now, we say, I love you for the sake of Allah. And you say it's not good. It's a problem it's a defect for the heart. You never know. So that's why we want to transfer that into the right way, like Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did. I hope I covered, it's not everything about love. We have to move on. We can just keep talking about love the whole... Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to say in the hadith, he said, Allahumma inna hadha qasami fima amlik. He used to divide equally between his wives. And he used to say, oh Allah, this is the best of my control. This is what I could do. I could divide the share equally. So forgive me for what I cannot control. What is it that he could not control? Huh? His heart was more toward who? Aisha radiallahu anha. That's not up to me. Okay, that's not asking to marry more than one wife. Inshallah, from next time we'll start the real fiqh. It's going to be the same thing, question and answer. And inshallah, we'll try to bring more stories and make it more as a dialogue, inshallah. So we'll leave 10 minutes, inshallah, for questions, inshallah. Any questions? Yes.
The akhillah.
I hope, inshallah, it's in the topic. Yes.
No, akhillah, is it called for the marriage relationship or not?
For the marriage?
Yeah.
Allah alam, if somebody could get with his wife to a level of khilla. Khilla is a high. Okay, you first, the eyes first look, then the heart start moving, then you get into the gharam, The gharam will turn into hayam. The hayam will turn into the hub. والحب يبدأ, okay? Till you get to the, so hayam, for example, is like somebody sitting down, you're talking to him and the guy is not even here. The food is right there and he's holding the spoon. What's wrong with you, man? He's thinking. That's the hayam, okay? That's why people, they put that into action. This guy's gonna starve if he doesn't eat, but he likes it. He might spend, I know people who spend all night on his phone with his whatever. Of course, if it's haram, it's haram. Okay? Engage or something, or his wife. Not though, if you don't spend all night texting your wife, okay? Unless she's far away from you. But then he spent all night. So I asked the brother, he says, you know what? It's very hard for me to wake up for Fajr. I said, subhanAllah, and it's very easy to stay up all night. He has his phone next to him. Like he's waiting for the text. And as soon as the phone, you know, inshallah, you'll get through this. When you put a ringtone for your wife, don't put the police siren and all that. Okay? Put a good ring. Subhanallah, till now, when you, even after you get married, when you hear that ring anywhere, like a nasheed or whatever, you hear that ring, you start remembering the good old days that you had at that time. You used to wait for the phone to go, this ring, now you don't even care, you throw it somewhere, you don't even remember. Nobody does that because of Facebook. But anyway, this is how, Allah Alam, if somebody could go, the khilla. Khilla is something that was given to the Prophet and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The khilla means the close friends. Close friends. Which they thought in dunya. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, al-akhilla, the close friends will be the most enemy in the day of judgment. Except the pious. If you have a friend right now that you think you love this person and he's very close or she's very close to you, if these people, or if they're not pious, if they're not religious, know that Allah said in the day of judgment that close friends, meaning in dunya, will be the enemies of each other in the day of judgment. Because the person is going one way and the other person is going one way. He's not going to like you if you go to Jannah. He's going, yeah, no way. Nobody likes that. So Allah said they'll be your biggest enemy except your pious. Rasulullah says that the friends will be resurrected together in the day of judgment. How good they are or how bad they are. No. My sister said first. One question here. Any question? Hopefully about love and marriage. Yes.
So going off the hadith of the David, how on the first day of marriage with his new wife, he left when the call of jihad was called. So he gave up that sacrifice and he must have loved her and he was really happy. So is it problematic to love, to put